Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship presented by Grip 6. Big Barry commentary, Jeremy Koling and Paul Ulibarri coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina.
And we have the finals, finally.
We're here. This is the last round of the 2020 season. Calvin Heimburg playing his way in with a 10 under. Chris Dickerson, two-time and reigning Disc Golf Pro Tour champion. Kevin Jones, Austin Hannum. That is your final grouping. 100% putting, fairways hit, everything first place. 10 under, course record. Calvin Heimburg coming in with so much momentum. Austin Hannum, 4 under par coming in, playing in from the quarterfinals all the way through. Chris Dickerson, obviously no stranger to the big show. And Kevin Jones, a great season, a tour champion this year.
Hole 1 here at Hornet's Nest really sets the mood for this long wooded course. Miss the gap early and it could be a bad mood. Hit the gap, get all the way to the green, and it could be a huge momentum boost for the rest of the round. Let's see how it plays out.
All right, everybody, and then there were 4. Welcome to our final round of the 2020 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. Up first, from Florida, representing Innova Champion Discs, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Calvin Heimburg.
Calvin, many people's favorite, coming into this event with his smooth eagle play off the fairway. He hit so many fairways yesterday, it was hard to count. He's going to start off with his trusty eagle on hole 1. Oh, super early. Oh, no, and a kick left.
Yeah, and that's going to be our first early kick left on hole 1. Not sure what he's got over there, but it ain't going to be much.
Disc,
no.
Your 2018 and 2019 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship champion, Mr. Chris Dickerson.
Winning down in Jacksonville 2 years ago, and at this very venue last year in an epic showdown with Calvin Heimburg last year, your 2-time reigning Disc Golf Tour champion. And a wild kind of bounce kick off of like a root or a rock or something, and
very helpful, I feel like.
Next, from Arkansas, representing Prodigy Disc, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Kevin Jones.
Kevin's so fortunate to be in this position. He was 6 under through 16 holes and ran into so much trouble on the ever so difficult hole 17. Took a triple bogey and finished his round at 3 under par, and really was at the mercy of Paul McBeth and Ricky Wysocki to not beat that score. See if he can take advantage of that position of being in the tour final. That's a great drive on hole 1 with his X1.
Hailing from Oklahoma, representing Discraft, put your hands together for Mr. Austin Hannum.
And Hannum essentially playing with house money here.
Sure.
Coming in from the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah, well, not only did he come in from the quarterfinals, Austin Hannum was actually in 17th place coming in, which means that he would have had to play the original round 1. Simon Lizotte, with his elbow injury, dropped out. He was the next player down, so he got to advance to the quarterfinals, played 2 consecutive good rounds, and made his way all the way here to the finals. And Calvin in a bit of trouble, a little bit of hop. That's still rolling forward.
That was great.
Yeah, and that sets him up for a long look at the par save on hole 1. Obviously bogey-free in the only round he had to play so far in the semifinals. That'll be his first true test.
And going back to Kevin Jones' drive, it is so important to get that good drive off, especially on this hole. It shows you that you're in control of your straight shots, and this course is all about the straight shot.
Yeah. And Austin, from out of position, tries to find some sort of gap with his drone, and now he's going to have to try to maneuver some kind of save, a nice kick, and that's not that long of a putt, so that'll most likely be a bogey for Austin in hole 1.
You got to think that these guys are feeling the nerves right away.
Oh, of course.
Maybe more than any other tournament that we've played all year, especially knowing that all the scores are reset. Nobody has a lead.
No, it's all even par right now.
I mean, how many times do you see that going into a final round, just everybody tied for first?
Well, there's a $17,000 difference between last place and first place on just this round alone.
Right.
$17,000. Oh, Calvin, sit down. That will be the first bogey he has suffered. Oh, Kevin just a bit low.
1 inch.
Yep. And I'm sure a bit of nerves are attached to all of those misfires so far. Just like any major championship, you tend to see that happen in the first. Once tip-off starts and the first players airball a couple shots,
right,
and then after that, people start getting into a groove. So I don't think it'll take these players very long. But
now once they see it going once, it'll settle the nerves and they'll get right back to business.
I don't know how you felt on hole 1, but for me, being that my home course and such a big event, I was more nervous on the first tee than I was for the USDGC and many other major championships. I really felt the nerves at this event.
No, absolutely.
Hole 2, par 3, 330 feet. It's 300 feet to clear the OTB OB wall on this island. We've seen it all week. A nice putter shot across is going to be the preferred play for most of these guys, but anything that hits that pine straw with too much speed is going to carry to the back edge of the green. Chris Dickerson going with his M3.
And for a mid-range, this looks pretty high.
Oh, and a really bad kick off to the left. That was kind of coming in as an ace run. If that had faded just a bit more, that might have found metal. Kevin Jones going M2. And you can't really thought much more Nestle than that.
Wow, that's some great touch heading into the green. Didn't even flirt with the trees, really.
Yeah. To throw mid-range, you really have to. I mean, Kevin Jones has so much power, but the touch to be able to just slow it down, to get it over that wall comfortably. There's no danger of going out of bounds. There's not that much space in that 30-foot difference between that wall and the basket, and to still keep it right next to the pin really showcases the touch. Calvin going DX AVR X3. And this is looking nice. Needs to avoid these trees. Yeah, and there it goes, sliding right back down to the wall. That'll be a somewhat testy 33-footer. That's Austin's ESP Buzz. And that's also just right up nestled next to it.
Yeah, you can't even tell the difference except for the left and the right side there.
Yeah, we got one east and one west. And then we've got two in the far east. Chris Dickerson actually not that far away. Right about 35 to 36 feet.
There's a few players in the world that have just great speed on their putt, and I think that Chris has some of the best speed control at different distances. The way that it hits the chains, it just kind of gobbles it up, and
yeah,
I don't think I've seen him have a cut through ever.
Yeah, there's some players that just have that speed control that just it doesn't really happen. It just kind of sits straight down. As soon as it hits a change, it just kind of
Right.
Paul McBeth, another one of those players. So impressed the way he's able to keep his putts from 60 feet coming in at right about the same speed as his 15-footers.
Yeah, a couple surprising misses here from Chris and Calvin. I mean, obviously
Challenging
they're
putts, but
very challenging, but I mean, two of the best putters on the planet.
Yeah, and Calvin just, like we mentioned in the preview, did not miss a putt in the first round. It just was lights out down the fairway and lights out on the green, and that is, obviously that's a deadly combination anywhere, but out here where birdies are such a premium, especially once we come to the final 8 holes, you getting those birdies, you're feeling real good about yourself. Hole 3 is a par 4, 674 feet. Drive must go 400 feet to really have any angle to get to the pin. So crucial that you push that back edge of the fairway. Early shots have a very, very sharp angle coming in, and
Kevin looks fantastic.
Just annihilates that.
Hits the bridge.
Under the bridge. Not a Red Hot Chili Pepper song anymore. That's a drive from Kevin Jones. Austin Hannum going Z for us. See if you can hear this. Thanks for coming, bub. Says Austin Hannum. He also said, sorry to do that to you, Kevin. Out driving his buddy Kevin Jones and Austin Hannum, good friends, traveling back. They used to tour together in the same RV. Chris Dickerson with his M3, and that is very well thrown for a mid-range. It's going to be left side, but so difficult to get it to really do much more than that from this back tee pad.
This is inside.
Somewhat fortunate kick to the middle, but still very much out of position.
Uh-oh.
And I wish Calvin had asked me, is this a good idea? Because I would have shook my head and said, no. Always play around to the fairway. Never try to cut that corner. No time to invent shots right now. You need to play down the fairway, and Chris Dickerson here going with a D3 redirection and parks the shot. Lasered in at 200 or 360 feet from the pin and just zero angle from there. And if he didn't play Plinko off that tree, there's no chance he gets in the circle.
Is he so good that he actually tried to do that?
Maybe. I'm not going to discount him back.
Yeah, he's a player of the future.
He said, is it too early to say I flashed the ring?
I have to put
told
my
him
foot under there because it's reasonable, but I can take casual relief on the water, straight back to my point, straight back on the line. Is that cool?
Just trying to clarify the rule. Now, so Austin Hannum's going to be up first. But look at the difference between where Austin is going with his drone sidearm, hitting a tree but still staying really close to the basket, and just the 8 feet over to where Kevin is, and it's a completely different shot.
Right, Kevin has to go with the nose-up putter stall shot.
Yep. And a great shot.
Sure.
But much trickier than just a flick. Kevin Jones, very proficient with the A3 forehand. Would have definitely gone with a forehand, I feel like, if it was an option, but not just that 8 feet was the biggest difference. Now Calvin's going to have to settle for his second bogey of the round, just like that.
Yeah, rough start, but this is a big momentum putt here for Austin. I mean, 1 under. If he could make that and he leaks it out the left side. Those are the ones that that feel like they got away.
Yeah, it's just the weight of what that means. You start thinking about what this could potentially mean come hole 15, hole 16, at the end of the round to miss this, and you have to let those things go, and you got to get back to your game plan. But obviously, every single stroke that you throw on hole 3 matters just as much as it does on hole 18. So, gonna want to clean up those putts. And Chris Dickerson, what an incredible birdie. Very fortunate, but I mean, he threw the shot and got the result, and hats off to that effort.
And too early to flash the ring? Absolutely not. Let everybody know.
I told him he has to wait until he gets the ring, which is 1 year from now. So he can't flash a ring yet. Hole 4, par 4, 610 feet. Players are going to look to keep their drives low off to the left side. You're going to look to get about 390 feet. From that point, you'll be able to see the pin. And from there, it's about 260 to this basket. But this hole, like we saw yesterday, Eagle McMahon taking an 8. It can be treacherous with the putts. Really the most exposed basket on the entire course. Even though it's a calm day, 66 degrees, it somehow still seems to pull pressure somewhere near that basket, and it just makes putting so much more difficult for some reason.
Yeah, and this hole's one of those holes to where it's essential to get off the tee with distance. If you nail it, it's a specific shot. So if you nail it, you'll know 5 feet out of your hand if you did it or if you didn't. Mm-hmm. And if you do, then it actually leaves you one of the easier up shots that you'll see all day. No woods, nothing really guarding. Help me out here.
Guarding the basket.
That's right.
Yep. Austin Hannum, Z-Force, and that right there is what you're talking about. That's what you're looking for. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, and he's going to have just Stockheiser sidearm right into the pin.
Yeah. So Calvin needing to get something going. So he goes with his trusty Tour Series Destroyer, hoping maybe if my name's on the disc, good things will happen. And it's going to have to happen on the next hole.
Because it does leak out of bounds. Now that's going to be that. I've been there. That's a tough little spot over OB the entire way, a little pole in the way.
Yep. We've seen 3 players so far from that exact same lie about. Chris having to play from the short tee box, and
this
look
is
at this.
Aggressive. It needs to sit, though. What?
That's just an amazing shot. I mean, that is a great player making a great shot. That was 385 to the pin. Kevin just a bit closer, and look at this counter action. Such a tough break. He hit the null on top of the hill. It looked perfect.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin threw his better than Chris threw his, but that's the thing on that. Both of them roll the dice going into that green, and one rolled snake eyes and one rolled 7. I don't know how the game works.
I think that's right. So Calvin having to go Firebird, low ceiling, and we haven't seen anyone go down the left side of the pole intentionally underneath the ceiling there on the left side. That is a very risky shot, and executes it very well.
Perfect.
And Austin going with his zone.
Now that's a nervy putt from there as well, though. 20 feet, you miss it, your disc is going to for sure be out of bounds.
Kevin needing this to keep the momentum up. That's a good par save. Maybe no player emphasizes breath control better than Kevin Jones. He really takes a deep breath and lets it all out and really gets all of his steam into the putt. It's the same every single time. What a birdie. 2 holes in a row for Chris Dickerson. Way out of position. Huge forehands, making the putt. That's working hard to get to 2 under.
There's a great save from Calvin. The only one really able to do it from that position that we could see.
Ricky had a nice save yesterday, but
that's right. Yeah. Wasn't he inbounds?
No, Ricky and Eagle went out of bounds. Yeah, Ricky was out of bounds, and
Okay.
but like you said, you and Eagle both paid the price for getting aggressive. Well, I guess never mind. Moving on, hole 5, par 4, 585 feet. OB is wide at first and then pinches down here, right about the landing zone you want to be at. It's 370 feet to get past those trees, and once you get past there, it's only about 220 feet to the pin. Players are going to look to get to those 2 trees in any way they can. We've seen forehands down the road, backhand mid-range, backhand fairway driver. Chris Dickerson is going to go with a backhand mid-range, throwing his M3. And
Peered it.
he's not going to have to worry about a big forehand from out of position after that drive.
Great angle control. Great speed.
Mm-hmm. Austin going with that late flip buzz and gets all the 370 that he wanted. That's a beautiful tee shot, and that much distance with the mid-range really shows his proficiency with that disc speed.
Interesting play from Kevin here.
He's actually, he's going with his A3, a very slow disc, just putting it in position, and from there he'll attack with a much faster disc. Kind of playing the hole backwards, going putter, driver. This is maybe the biggest tee shot of Calvin's year, just to get things back on track and get things going with his round. And a bit of an unfortunate kick, but still, he got the distance he was looking for. Going to have to work a little bit harder now that it's behind the tree and not past everything, but
That needs to go.
that's heading to the scary spot. But that D1 just passes over the inbounds, or over the out of bounds line, back inbounds.
On this upshot, you really want to focus on the way the disc lands. Speed control is important, but coming in there with a driver or anything else, you risk the roll away. And I feel like that's why Kevin went maybe to the high side on the right to try to stay away from that. He does it, and Chris with a nice backhand in there.
Austin, that needs the slow down. Oh, wow. And that does just wrap around the out-of-bounds stakes long.
That's a big-time mistake with his skill with the sidearm.
Oh, absolutely.
That should have been just a pick-me-up.
And a nice little use of the good angle with for Calvin's approach with the Firebird. 210 feet, sticks the landing. That'll be his first birdie of the round and get him back to 1 over par. That needs to sit. Okay, you can see the rollaway potential is everywhere on this green. And there you hear it once again. Kevin letting everything out, and
that hit nicely on the right side with
Yeah.
the perfect amount of hyzer. I mean, that was a confident stroke.
And that was as well, right in the middle. Another great execution of speed control with Chris's putt. Both of these players are now 3 under through the first 5 holes.
See, and that's the difference. Kevin hits in the same spot as Chris on that left side, and maybe it could, pop out on that left side, and that's the speed control that I'm talking about. Chris's catches, pulls in nice.
If Chris's putt was 3 inches farther left, I think it still just plops down in the basket, because it just kind of, all the momentum is just taken from it once it hits the chains. Hole 6 is a par 3, 453 feet, low ceiling tunnel. Players are going to look to throw a fairway driver or maybe like a hybrid high-speed driver to try to push one maybe over the road a little bit to give it a little bit of flex to get that extra bit of distance. It's a long way to carry with such a low ceiling.
Yeah, I feel like the play these guys want to do is take a really overstable disc, put it on anhyzer, make sure you don't have a disc that's going to flip over and not fight back, because honestly, you pier it. Like, this is piered, right?
Yeah,
it got to flat. But if it
beautiful.
drifts to the right at all, he's going to catch the road, and it's even going to be a helpful road. So it's like the good mistake you want to do is really the disc selection on this hole.
Disc selection is the first thing, and the second thing is just ripping it down the middle like Chris did there with his FX2. And Kevin Jones is going for that kind of unwinding backhand tee shot that he's so well known for with his D2, and that flips up nicely, and Heiser's inside the circle. Those are two fantastic drives. Calvin going champ Thunderbird. He's asking for it to get down. And that'll be 35-foot putt for the birdie. For a chance to get back to even. So far, it's been a tale of two different days for Calvin Heimburg. Looking to right the ship early. There's not much there to help Austin. That's going to be out of bounds early, and that's going to be back-to-back bogeys.
At best. Okay, back-to-back bogeys.
Yeah, I trust his ability to get up and down this time.
Two in a row would be nice.
Just a bit low.
Yeah, a bit out of sorts for Calvin.
Yeah, just a bit high, I believe, with this putt on hole 2, and just a bit low there. And speaking of low, Kevin Jones' putt just snuck over the rim. But just like that, he is 4 under through 6. And Chris is matching him shot for shot, and he's got a 4-hole birdie streak now. Both these players doing what you need to do in the front 9 to put themselves in position. Setting the pace. And at this point, they're distancing themselves 5 strokes ahead of Austin Hannum and Calvin Heimburg, who are going to be tied as well now. So 2 different races going on, and 20,000 for first is a big deal. 10,000 for second drops all the way down to 5,000 for third place, and then 3,000 for fourth. So all these players are making a good chunk of cash today. But like we said before, $17,000 difference between a good round and a really, really good round. It's a big, big deal. Hole 7 is a par 4, 641 feet. The play for most of these players is going to be some sort of Anheuser backhand, trying to miss those trees down the middle. They're about 300 feet from the pin. From there, they're going to want a hyzer to the left, as close as they can to the road to open up the angle to the pin.
Fourth most difficult hole?
No, that was hole 6.
One of the rounds is played as the easiest hole.
Yeah, we've got 4 people in the field today.
Right.
So
no, I'm saying in rounds past, one of the rounds was.
No, that was just the last round, the semifinal round. Like half
this
the field.
hole isn't that easy.
No, a lot of good disc golfers kind of throw off the stats
with shots like this.
Yeah, Kevin Jones going X1, kind of not really fighting through the limbs. That'll set up a long approach.
That's really the tree you want to beat. Either side, pick one of them, and it's going to be in good position.
You can figure it out from there. This needs to turn, and it's turning. Is it enough? Just the last bit of late stability cost that. So Calvin's now going to have to get up and down again to try to save his par.
And if we know anything about this tournament so far, it's that if you can't get those birdies early,
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get them late.
So now this puts Austin way out of position, and he's about 395 feet to the pin. And look at this thing go. It doesn't need to go. Trust me. It's got plenty of go on it. It needs to get some stop.
Oh, no.
It's awesome.
He parked the tee pad of hole 1.
He parked the parking lot.
Yeah.
That is about 48 to 50 feet long. That was like 4 feet off the ground. So there you go, folks. Austin Hannum has a cannon.
Yeah, that kind of showcases how much power he has with that sidearm.
We should just call him Austin Cannon.
I like that.
How have we not thought of that yet?
Well, we needed to see him go 480 on a
4 foot high shot.
right.
And look at this little flex play from Chris. Really beautiful shot there. Kind of fortunate to get through those trees at the end. I think he's trying to hyzer that in just a bit sooner, but good result.
Yeah, feeling kind of cute with that one, wasn't he?
A little cheeky there. Calvin with the Firebird approach, just 200 feet to the pin, and that's good work.
All right, if you want to take it.
Minimizing the damage on hole 7. Now Chris, an opportunity to extend that lead potentially over Austin and Calvin, and he does. He is now 5 under and official fire emojis right now.
Yeah, not only is his pre-shot routine sound, his after making the putt routine is also very similar.
I'm programmed to grab the disc from the basket.
Yeah, programmed to grab my mini, then my disc, then walk 3 steps, wave to the crowd, grab my birdie.
It's just how I was written. What do you mean? I am human. He is. Sometimes he doesn't feel that way. When he gets in these little streaks, it doesn't seem like he's got the human element of failure that the rest of us have. Hole 8, par 4, 534 feet. You're going to look for a 245-foot to 275-foot drive, but nothing shorter or longer than that. If you can manage that distance, it'll open up a straight approach through this gap, up and over the hill to get a look for the birdie. But we've seen so many big numbers and so many birdies. This hole really punishes you if you're out of position. Once again, Dickerson going with his M3. And that did not hurt one bit. That's a beautiful shot. Was heading to a great place anyways, and that kick really just didn't work.
Kind of getting the good kicks right now on this front 9.
Kind of feeling like I'm feeling lucky.
That looks a little inside.
A little bit inside, but it's in a place where you can scramble if you have a forehand. Calvin now going with his next most overstable champion eagle. And just like the semifinals, super inside, but not the worst kick. And look at this play here from Austin. He's going to go with his ESP Force flick roller. I've been playing this course for 14 years. I've never even thought about doing this.
What?
He's rolled to the hill. In all of my years, I have never seen a backhand drive cannot skip that far. That is the longest, best shot.
And now he waved to somebody. It's cool.
Kevin
But
right
he
there.
definitely does. Waves to nobody. It's freaking great.
Kevin was explaining how every practice round, Austin threw that shot, landed there, and waved to no one, and there was nobody watching him. And he just pretended like he was waving to the crowd, and now he finally got to do it.
He was getting ready. Visualize it before, and then make it happen.
Calvin, not enough angle with the Draco. That's going to leave him another long putt. And he really needs to sink that one.
This looks like a tough one. Anheuser, high, slow fade through the big gap, missed probably 2 trees. And he did it.
Yeah, about 250 from there, and puts himself right at the edge of the circle. Jump putt Jones, an opportunity to earn that nickname once again.
Chris kind of reminds me of a pitcher from the Boston Red Sox.
Just for no reason, like any particular one, or just in general, you just think that that would be the team he would play for?
I feel like that's just the team. They have like kind of a scruffy, and you know what I mean. They look like super professional, but you don't watch baseball?
I mean, I watch enough to know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Calvin, from about 55 feet.
Wow.
Just when you think maybe Calvin's out of it, he's not going to go away quietly. I'll tell you that right now.
He's got no give up in those veins, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And great putt from Calvin. Hopefully that can spark the fire and I'll go grab that now.
So good.
Yeah. For a player that likes to step putt, those putts from 33 feet are just Thanksgiving feast. It seems like the putt is almost like you're cheating. It seems so close. Kevin, actually not a jump putt, just his traditional straddle. And yeah, I mean, look at these guys. They're both tied at 6 under. Unbelievable disc golf right now from these two.
We said the whole entire week that you needed to get them on the front 9. That's what these guys are doing.
They were watching the coverage.
Yeah.
Clearly they were watching the coverage. And we got a star frame thanks to that incredible putt from Calvin Heimburg and the outstanding, outrageous, never before seen before drive from Austin Hannum heading into hole 9, par 3, 430 feet. Through a 9-foot gap, you have to carry a drive down a slight slope downward. But once you make that gap, these trees on the right side and that one on the left really seem to be the ones that just hit so many good drives that just, if you can beat those trees, you can get down here for a good look for the birdie.
Sidearm play here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chris Dickerson going D2. And look at that flip up play. I mean, just a thing of beauty. And a little bit of love there at the end. You got to get it. He gets it. And now he's inside the circle.
Interesting that he goes sidearm off of this tee, but not on hole 3.
Oh, Kevin Jones, that.
It's going in. I've seen this before.
Yes, and that's the same disc. That's the same D2 he threw at Maple Hill. And unfortunately, Kevin actually did cut up his knee a bit there. And
hopefully he's okay.
He's a tough guy. But yeah, surely. I mean, that's going to smart. He's going to feel it a little bit tomorrow. Calvin Heimburg hits the gap. Just those so hard to miss everything.
That was so good, though, right down the
So
initial
good.
pipe, which is really what we're looking for. But these guys are on another level. When I'm playing this course, I think initial gap, and then good things will happen after that. These guys are racing for the circle.
Look at this.
Oh,
Just a forehand with his force just 60 feet long on a 430-foot hole.
And Austin may have played for the Red Sox before.
Yeah,
with
like
that
legit.
on.
I mean, he was an old baseball player. He's got the cannon.
Absolutely.
Nothing to lay up here. Calvin going for it, coming up short. Tough thing to do from 65, 70 feet on an elevated downhill pin. It's a valiant effort.
First real jump putt of the round for Kevin. And this was unfortunate. It could have hit those 2 trees and been way closer, deserved to be way closer. And
I mean, the shot was coming in just maybe a bit hotter than Chris's was. But Chris would be pretty close to where Austin's drive landed had he not hit those trees that stopped him.
no jump required. Really?
I shall receive birdie.
Look at this.
Bok bok. Chickens go bok bok. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Oh my gosh. Chickens go bok bok.
Well, that's what my programmer told me.
I want the same programmer.
Yeah, he parred the first 2 holes. Like, something wasn't computing, and then he figured it out and has gone on a little streak we call 7 in a row.
Reboot.
But that's the end of the front 9. Oh, Kevin doesn't like the straddle. He's going to go to this side. And the front 9 now being over. 9 holes are left in the Disc Golf Pro Tour season. Chris Dickerson is on an absolute roll right now, but so is Kevin Jones right there behind him and fallen so far back that things are really going to have to go against Chris and Kevin, and things are going to have to really swing in momentum for Calvin and Austin heading into these final 9 holes. Man, we got a battle going on, though, for first place.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it the whole week that you needed to get off the front 9 with 5 to 6 under par. You need to get off to a hot start, and 2 people have done that. And there's a lot of money for 3rd and 4th place. Though we're going to see Calvin and Austin not letting up on that back 9. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be a fight to the finish line. I guarantee that. Thank you so much to the Founders Club. I'm sad to say there's only 9 holes left in the Disc Golf Pro Tour season, but we're going to make them the greatest 9 holes ever. Come on back. We'll see you there.